Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. Right, so Summoner's Choice Champion Vote 2022 has been announced. We know exactly how it's going to go down, pretty much what champions are we going to be voting for, how it's going to happen, and we're going to go over all of that in this video. So I'm going to be diving into a little bit of detail about each champions as well as the brackets that they are in, and obviously kind of set my predictions. Now, I haven't necessarily decided who I will be voting for myself, but I'm quite confident in the champions that are more than likely going to win, and in the champions that have absolutely no chance. So let's move on. So we can see that the 12 champions that we will be voting for are going to be Armor, Danny Moonstar, Agatha Harkness, Kushala, Beta Ray Bill, Crystal, Bullseye, Baron Zemo, Spider-Woman, Quicksilver, Hobgoblin, and Prowler. Right, from the first 4 champions moving on to round 2, I am quite certain it's going to be Agatha Harkness. She's quite an intriguing character. She's very popular because of WandaVision. She's getting her own spin-off series, so I think that's just going to increase her popularity. So I think she's going to move on there. And then we're going to have Beta Ray Bill, Crystal, Bullseye, and Baron Zemo. There's Beta Ray Bill. Like, I'd be willing to bet a large amount of money on the fact that Beta Ray Bill is going to be selected there to move on. And then we have Spider-Woman, Quicksilver, Hobgoblin, and Prowler, in which case it's more than likely going to be Quicksilver because, again, he has been requested for years and years and years, just like Beta Ray Bill. So unfortunately, Quicksilver will have to battle Beta Ray Bill in round 2, which I suspect more probably Beta Ray Bill is going to win, maybe Quicksilver is going to win. And then it's going to be Twitter wildcard versus Agatha Harkness, I suppose. And who knows what's going to happen there. But ultimately, again, I think Quicksilver or Beta Ray Bill are more than likely the clear winners here, in my opinion, at the very least initially. Because, yeah, those 2 champions have been requested by hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of players every month, every year. So it's kind of hard to see them not coming through with that. So again, the full list of champions. So this is Armor. Armor is a mutant champion. And we're going to quickly showcase some of the art here, and then we're going to go on to the Marvel Wiki. So Armor is a mutant champion that can make a skeleton around himself. Then there's Danny Moonstar, who is a mutant as well. She was featured in New Mutants. Agatha Harkness, sorcerer, witch, call her as you will. Kushala, you know, she has the spirit of vengeance, as in like a ghost rider, and she's also a sorcerer. At one point, she has been a sorcerer supreme. Beta Ray Bill, you know, everybody's favorite worthy android that, you know, does whatever Thor does, kind of. Well, I'm gonna get slated for this one. Crystal is an inhuman elemental type of character that basically controls all the elements and can, you know, be immune to them as well by extension. Yeah, inhuman there. And then we have Bullseye, who's skill champion, basically evil version of Hawkeye, if you will. Interestingly, he has some more cool things about him, which I'm going to mention a bit later on. We have Baron Zemo, have seen in Avengers Age of Ultron, and later on in Falcon and Winter Soldier. He looked quite, well, he was quite different to how I remembered him from the comics and, you know, cartoons and whatever else I had seen before that. We're going to talk about him a little bit. Definitely a very cool character. Then we have Spider-Woman. She basically has all the spider powers, but on top of it, she's kind of a bit more mature character with more storylines of her being also an excellent spy. There's a storyline, I believe, where she had, well, she got pregnant, and she also has additional ability on top of the fact that she has Venom Blast, just like Miles Morales. She also has some pheromone-based abilities. Then we have Quicksilver, speedster. That's about as far as we can sum it up. And Hobgoblin, past Hobgoblin. We have Prowler, which is yet another Marvel version of Bad Batman. I don't know, alternate to Moon Knight. We're going to talk about them a bit more here right now. The voting is going to start in January. So let me just jump down here. So there is an article on Kabam blog as well, but it's really short. But the voting officially kicks off on January the 7th. We're going to be able to vote in-game and on Twitter. So that's going to be quite interesting. Right, so we're going to start with Armor. you can see that the base idea is that she's a mutant that can generate kind of like psionic or force field armor around her entire body, that she can for brief moments, you know, make quite huge. She can become like a giant, but she also exerts herself by doing that. Kind of interestingly, like one of the darkest side of armor's abilities is the fact that she gets stronger as her relatives die, and the more her relatives die, the stronger basically that armor gets, because that armor is meant to be kind of like linked to her ancestral heritage or something like that. And yeah, if she needs a power up, she just needs to off a cousin or something, and then then she gets a power boost. So that's a bit dark there. But yeah, so stat-wise, she's super durable and super strong, and everything else kind of like fine, all right. She can do concussive blasts and that type of thing. But again, realistically, I do not think she's going to be the one that gets voted in. Because A, she's a mutant, and there's a lot of those in the game already. B, she's not really all that wildly known. So I'm kind of doubtful on that. Then we're going to move on to Danielle Moonstar. She was the main protagonist in the New Mutants movie, so we kind of got to see how her abilities more or less work, or at least part of her abilities work in that movie. They're fear-based, they're nightmare-based, but she effectively also has telepathy on top of that illusion creation. She has neural arrows that she can shoot with a bow that can basically disable or paralyze the enemies. And she also has animal empathy. So that's another mutant character that I don't really think we are going to see advance too far in, but you know, she's a fairly interesting champion. Moving further, Agatha Harkness. Now, this is probably not how she's going to look like. This is how she historically has been kind of like in the comics as an old lady witch. She's actually very, very powerful. She has several storylines where she interlinks herself with Scarlet Witch and serves as sort of a mentor. So obviously her main abilities are sorcery, and she has, you know, ton of applications of that magic. So basically she can do kind of whatever she wants. And she's very like ancient, experienced witch, which, you know, I can see her advancing to a degree because of the newfound popularity thanks to WandaVision. And yeah, I believe she's getting a spin-off show herself as well. Would be quite cool, to be honest with you, seeing her in the game. I wouldn't mind it too much either. Now, Kushala is perhaps one of the more interesting characters here. Now, she doesn't have too long of a wiki page, but the base idea is that she has the spirit of vengeance within her. So she's effectively a Ghost Rider, or, you know, a version of a Ghost Rider. But also the fact that she has been a Sorcerer Supreme, so she has a ton of magic enhancements and ton of different variety of spells to use at her disposal. And I think she would also make like a wonderful addition to the game, you know, because you can take her in many, many, many different directions. So again, she would likely be like a mystic character, you know, Ghost Rider and magic, definitely pretty much fits to a T. But unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna get her in the game. Moving on, next one is Beta Ray Bill. Interesting thing that I didn't actually know that he's an android. I just thought he's a, like, you know, natural creature that looks like that, because, you know, who knows whatever happens with them. But yeah, Beta Ray Bill, obviously known by a ton of you, requested by pretty much everybody, I think is likely the favorite. Luckily, he's also one of the beefiest guys in this list, because he has max strength, max speed, super high energy projection and durability, and high fighting skills. So we can you know, go through his abilities. It's basically Thor, kind of like, as extended longevity, regeneration, durability, super dense tissue, superhuman reflexes. He has the lightning powers as well. He's worthy, and that's Beta Ray Bill. I'm sure that many people could tell you a lot more than I can about Beta Ray Bill, but I'm sure that I'm almost certain that this is the champion that's going to end up being added to the game, which is going to be something that I want to talk about, because it's quite surprising to see a lot of these champions on this list, because you'd think that those are the champions that would be coming to the game anyways, regardless of these votes, but apparently not. Now we have Crystal. She's inhuman. Again, she can manipulate all 4 elements. She can fly. She can generate force fields with the wind element. She can, you know, manipulate earth and water and fire and all that other good stuff. She's immune to elements itself, so extreme colds, extreme heats and stuff like that don't bother her. And she does it on like subatomic level, so she can effectively create water even in even in sandy Sahara places where there is no water anywhere in vicinity, just because she can, you know, take out the necessary atoms from air itself. So she's actually a cool character. I'd like her in the game, but you know, there's no way in hell she's gonna get remotely enough votes. So let's move on. Bullseye. Bullseye, we have seen a couple of iterations of Bullseye on the big screen as well. We have seen Bullseye in the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie, which, you know, take it or leave it, however you feel about it. And we have seen Bullseye in the one of the seasons of Daredevil Hell's Kitchen as well. The base idea about Bullseye is that he's effectively just a fit dude that's, again, an evil version of Hawkeye. He's an expert marksman. He is an expert fighter as well, extremely proficient with the area of weapons, and you know, just hits the target. Now, the things that I did not know about him is that he actually has adamantium laced bones, not like as extensive as Wolverine necessarily, but you know, he has his spine, skull, and like fist placed in adamantium as well, and that kind of gives him, you know, a lot more tankiness and strength. And that's kind of interesting. I did not know about that one. And yeah, so here we go. That's Bullseye. I know a lot of people are big fans of Bullseye as well. And he's quite an interesting character. I do like him. Then we have Helmut Zemo. And he's very different in comics to what we have seen so far on the MCU big screen. And Helmut Zemo, Baron Zemo, is effectively the 2nd generation super villain. His father invented something called Adhesive X that's effectively like a mega glue. So some while back, he was actually a bit of a, I don't know, laughing stock. He looked funny, and his whole shtick was that he glued people in place. But no, Helmut Zemo is actually extremely clever. He's like a master strategist, and they have done a great job kind of like revisiting this character. So he has genius level intellect, he's master combatant, expert swordsman, expert marksman, master tactician. So he's basically an evil genius. Some of his main weapons are the Adhesive X. He uses a he uses various other weapons, some, you know, energy guns and things like that. He also has, I believe, adamantium sword that he uses. And another thing that in some iterations, he's in possession of moonstones that give him very great, powerful energy manipulation abilities, where he can increase his strength, durability. He can, you know, manipulate gravity or light, and I think teleport even, and things like that. So he can be actually made quite crazy. He can be made much more crazy than we have seen him in MCU. So it'd be interesting what kind of version of Baron Zemo they would deliver to us. Right after Baron Zemo, we have Jessica Drew, which is a Spider-Woman. And again, she has all the spider powers. I personally am of opinion that we have more than enough Spider-Man in the game. Buff all the old ones, and then we can talk about the new ones, what I'm going to go with. And yeah, so, you know, she has spider physiology, wall crawling, superhuman strength, speed, all the other regular things. Thing that is, you know, kind of different or special, that she can also do venom blasts, which, you know, your everyday Spider-Man can't. And she also has the pheromone secretion. Her metabolism generates certain types of pheromones that can create fear, elicit attraction, and or repulsion on others. So that's kind of interesting. And also the fact that she cannot fly, but she kind of glides a lot, so she does not necessarily swing through the city as much as she often just glides through the cities. So she has basically flying squirrel, something like that. There we go. So definitely an interesting character. It's just I'm kind of topped up on all the Spider-Man versions for a while, so, you know, I also doubt that she's gonna get enough votes. Then we have Quicksilver. Quicksilver is very simple to explain. He's, Speedster. He's meant to be Scarlet, which is brother Magneto's son. Dimension run very fast. Pick your favorite version of Quicksilver that we have seen on the screen, either in X-Men franchise or the one that got shot down in Avengers. So no matter how fast he is, he can't outrun a bullet. So, Joe Fixit's level 1 should be very effective there, the Tommy gun. But, yeah. So he has enhanced reflexes, durability. He can think very fast. That was somewhere here mentioned as well. Quick intelligence, that he can process information very quickly. And everything relating super speed. Basically, yeah. The dude runs. Here we go. And, I think if it's not going to be Beta Ray Bill, it's probably going to be Quicksilver that gets added to the game. I actually referenced Quicksilver multiple times over the past month since the Hawkeye buff and that slowing down time mechanic. Because I think if we do get Quicksilver in the game, we're going to see quite a lot of that utilized as well, where either on special attacks or in some other way you have to slow down time in order to, do everything properly. Now we have Hobgoblin. And the story of Hobgoblin, there are have been many different versions of Hobgoblin. The one that I remember is that he effectively came across Green Goblin's suit that was either not in use or being misused by some random bank robber. And then he adjusted it himself and he basically became another version of kind of Green Goblin, just nastier, I suppose. But there are many more versions of Hobgoblin where he has some demonic abilities and contracts with demons and some demonic swords and kind of like things like that. So he's quite interesting villain. As you can see, he has quite a lot of information in Wiki. Now, I'm not the most knowledgeable guy about the Hobgoblin, but the base idea is that he's suspiciously similar to Green Goblin, but he isn't Green Goblin, and that can have more to do with kind of like mystic and demonic things happening. So he's another Spidey villain, which, is fairly cool, but doubt he's gonna make it in the game. And the last one is Prowler. So that's Miles Morales' uncle. We saw him into the Spider-Verse animated Miles Morales movie as well. And the basic idea is that he's a regular human that's super smart, that invents his own tech and gadgets, and turned to life of crime. He comes from a struggling family with many siblings, and he used to be a window washer. There was like a daredevil and fight with Green Goblin or something. I don't remember who fought. I think it's going to be mentioned somewhere. Stiltman. Daredevil fought Stiltman, and Daredevil saved him, but he took inspiration from that villain, which I have no idea about, and then kind of started making his own gadgets for his job, got fired from the job, and then he started stealing crap. And that is Prowler. So ultimately, I do not think that Prowler is going to win either. Again, if I have to pick, as I said, I would definitely be leaning towards Quicksilver and Beta Ray Bill as the initial favorites here. Here we are, Beta Ray Bill. Let me know what you guys think. Which champion would you like to get added? For me personally, the surprising thing was that there were multiple of champions that I kind of already expected to be planned in to be added, like Baron Zemo or Quicksilver or Beta Ray Bill or Bullseye or Agatha Harkness or maybe even Johnny Moonstar or Kushala. I kind of thought they're going to be coming to the game, guaranteed, like sometime this year, but apparently not. So that's kind of interesting, and that kind of, again, puts a bit of a sour taste of this event, because if Beta Ray Bill wins, then it's quite likely that we get no Quicksilver this year, for instance, and that alone will leave a lot of people very unhappy. Or if you're a very big fan of Baron Zemo or Prowler or Spider-Woman or Agatha Harkness, the fact that there is going to be only the one winner and rest of these champions will not get added, I think definitely is forcing quite a lot of mixed emotions for a lot of people. It's kind of similar to last year's vote, where, you know, they added Hercules, but second place on Mega Sentinel still not in, and nobody else who was on that poll has been added to the game as well yet. So I don't know. I was quite surprised to see the big ticket characters here, definitely, like Baron Zemo, Beta Rebula, Get Hardness, Quicksilver. Like those four, I think, most above all. I kind of thought that they should be in the game already, or should be on the schedule arriving to the game. Anyways, let me know what you think about this entire voting thing. Which one is going to get your vote? I have not yet decided exactly who I'm going to vote for, but I have, again, quite high suspicion that it really doesn't matter unless it's Quicksilver or Beta Ray Bill, because I'm like 98% sure that one of those two is going to win the entire thing. Let me know, guys, and I'm going to catch you soon. See ya. Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about